Hello. Imagine a young man, bright and ambitious, but lost in a life of indulgence and restlessness. That man would go on to become something of the most influential Christian thinkers in history. His name? St. Augustine of Hippo. Hi, everyone. Today, I want to introduce to you the fascinating life and lasting legacy of St. Augustine, someone whose transformation from a troubled youth to a reverend theologian continues to influence the way people think about faith, philosophy, and human nature. Why should this matter to you? Because the question Augustine asks about identity, morality, and purpose are the same questions we still ask today. Understanding his journal can offer insights into how personal change can shape not only you as an individual, but an entire civilization. In this speech, I'll walk you through the three key parts of Augustine's life: his early childhood and conversion, his most important writings, his influence on technology and Western philosophy. St. Augustine was born in 352 AD in Thegest, a Roman province in northern America, what is now Algeria. He was raised by a devout Christian mother, Monica, and pagan father. Despite his mother's faith, Augustine spent much of his youth seeking pleasure and success. He was incredibly intelligent and studied rhetoric, the art of persuasive speaking, but while he was intellectually gifted, he lived a life that would later describe as a sinful and spiritually empty. He explored various philosophies and religions, including a belief system called Minchism, which separated the world into forces of good and evil. According to historian Peter Brown, Augustine's inner turmoil lasted for years. Brown, 2000. Eventually, he found himself in Milan, listening to the sermons of Bishop Ambrose. One day, in a moment of depression, Augustine heard a child's voice say, "Take and read." He opened the Bible and read a passage that spoke directly into his heart. That moment led to his full conversion of Christianity in 386 AD. He was baptized a year later and left behind his old lifestyle to pursue a life of faith and teaching. But this transformation wasn't just personal. It led to writing that shaped theology today. After his conversion, Augustine dedicated his life to serving the church. He became the Bishop of Hippo and began writing extensively about faith, human nature, and God. One of his most famous works is Confessions. His book is spiritually autobiography that explores his sins and his past, his conversion, and his relationship with God. What makes Confessions unique, according to author Henry Chadwick, is how deeply personal and introspective it is for this time. Chadwick, 2001. It's like reading someone's journal, yet it's also full of theology and philosophy. Another major work is The City of God, written after the sack of Rome in 410 AD. Many Romans blamed Christians for the fall of the empire. Augustine responded by arguing that there are two cities: the earthly city, built on human pride, and the city of God, built on divine love. The book helped lay the foundation for the Christian political thought. In his readings, Augustine introduced concepts like original sin, the necessity of grace, and the idea of pedestrian. Ideas still debated today. And that brings us to the lasting legacy he left behind. St. Augustine's ideas didn't fade with his death in 430 AD. In fact, they only grew in this importance over time. His thoughts deeply influenced key Christian thinkers like Thomas Aquinas and Martin Luther. Luther, one of the leaders of the Protestant Reformations, even built much of his theology on Augustine's concept of grace and human sinfulness. According to the scholar John Brist, Augustine baptized ancient Greek and Roman philosophy by blending it with Christian doctrine. This mix created a powerful intellectual tradition that shaped the entire Middle Age and even helped form the foundation for Western philosophy. James Odell, in his biography of Augustine, notes that Augustine was not just a thinker for his time. He was a thinker for all time. O'Donnell, 2005. His works are still studied in universities today and remain a central part of Christian theological education. We explored Augustine's early life and dramatic conversation in this speech, his influential writings like Confessions and the City of God, and the massive impact he had on both theological and Western thoughts. St. Augustine of Hippo was more than just a saint. He was a man who wrestled with doubt, desire, and belief. His life reminds us that transformation is possible and that deeper thinking about life's biggest questions can echo across centuries. Thank you.